I personally believe that Lege is setting people up for a divorce. That is what is happening. All this linking, they're setting them up for a divorce. Okay? If you want a one-night stand or a relationship that will last a month, a year, go to Lege's show, find a spouse there. Okay? If not, go and look for how to find a spouse. So when you click on this video, the first question that should come to you is, what does a pastor have to do with Lege Miami? And that's the truth. I myself am wondering, what exactly am I doing with this gentleman? You know, but we are all social animals, and because of that, we have accounts on social media. And in recent times, Lege's videos has just been popping out at me. You know, I think what might have happened was that I think I clicked on one video and then began to recommend that. Now, Lege's shows are so very interesting. They offer comic relief. So I think lots of vloggers, what they do is that they go to his, it might be Instagram, they go to his Instagram account and they glean his videos and then they put it up, you know, they edit it and they put it up and a lot of people come to watch. And since basically video making is viewership, it doesn't matter whose video you're putting up, as long as it is out there, you know, people are watching, you very likely get paid. You know, so that's how I got to know, I got involved with Lege's work, and a lot of people watch it. Okay, so just in case you have not seen any of Lege's shows, I'll just do a summary of it and then post it. So you just watch, maybe we'll do 2 or 3 of his videos. This is Lege Miami.
Like this?
Yeah, move turn around.
Okay.
Yeah, come. Yeah, come, Razak, come. Razak, how old are you?
I'm 34 years old.
Oh, Queen, this is Razak calling from the UK. He said he like you like that. Okay?
Okay.
To serve Nigeria?
It's not by force.
Yeah. Do you like Razak? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's my kind of guy, yeah.
Yes.
Yo, baby fair. Queen, abo baby fair.
Oh, baby, fair queen.
Oh, yeah, stand up. You like fair?
I'm here for.
Oh, the glass by here with me. We are not playing here.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Where are you calling from?
From Lagos.
How do you do?
I'm engineer.
Engineer.
Forklift. I operate forklift. So I'm here for a serious relationship.
Genotype. Place your phone and move back. That one you are Michelin. Olúwa lórí bí aṣọ yìí ti yà lẹ́yìn náà àgbàlagbà aṣọ yìí ti yà lẹ́yìn náà kílẹ̀ lẹ́yìn náà lẹ́ náà kí àwọn wọ́n sí náà olówó sí láì fi dúró lọ́wọ́.
Lege ní sùúrù náà.
Kí wọ́n ní sùúrù bàbá ní aṣọ yìí ti yà lẹ́yìn jẹ́ pé àgbàlagbà lẹ́yìn aṣọ yìí ti yà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀rọ wọlé kí ni tẹ́ wọ́n káàkiri. Ẹ̀jí bí kò bẹ́ẹ̀ ní pé kò ń ṣe yín bí kò bẹ́ẹ̀ ní pé kò ń ṣe yín. Aṣọ ìyá lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n kàn mí lè sọ́mọ́ tí
aṣọ mi ò yá lẹ́yìn náà.
Bàbá wọ́n
aṣọ mi ti tẹ́ aṣọ mi lẹ́yìn.
Ẹ̀wọ̀n tó ṣe rẹ̀ kó lọ́mọdé fún yín kò sọ́mọ tó lè fẹ́ yín ẹ má ìdá yín láàmú ìjọ́ tó ọ lọ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe yín owó ṣe yín o ẹ má bínú ẹjọ́ tó ọ lọ No best.
All right. So by this time, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. If you have been watching his videos, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, at least you've seen things for yourself. what is wrong with Lege Miami's modus operandi. I've written an article on it. If you check the comment section of this video, you'll see the article. But basically, what is wrong with Lege's modus operandi is that Lege is using a faulty premise to create marriage. Okay, it's a faulty premise. Okay, you do not want to begin marriage on a footing like this. You don't want to begin marriage on looks, on status, on the money that somebody has. Now, it is true that the people marry because they are attracted to another person, because of the looks of this person, possibly because of what the person has, the money he owns, and maybe his status in society. That is very true. But really, for those of us, at least for those of us who are spiritual, those of us who are in the Christian community, we know that that's the last thing. That's the last reason you want to get married to anybody. Okay, the reason is very simple. In a twinkle of an eye, in one day, in one night, or in a year at most, a person's looks can be deformed. A person can lose all of his money. A person can go from the height of status in society and come to the dregs. So that's the last thing you want to. That's the last reason why you want to marry somebody. When Lege asks people to stand up, he wants to look at how they are. He wants to know whether they have ED and so on. I mean, all of those things are just stupid. The reason is because, you have HIV today, AIDS, and all of the ED will dry up. That's the truth. It's the flimsiest reason to get married. I know Lege is catching cruise. He's making money. And it's not even likely he will see my video, but if anybody is getting married because of these reasons, for all these faulty premises, physical things, is a very, very faulty basis to get married. Why and who should you get married to? That's the question. Who should you get married to? You should get married to a person with character, plain and simple, a person that has character. It was Martin Luther King Jr. that said that in his I have a dream speech. He said that we should not be judged by the color of our skin, but rather by the content of our character. And that's the truth. Regardless of even the religion, I'm a Christian and I always call for people to give their life to Christ. But honestly, regardless of the religion, if a person has learned from life to build character like patience, characters like having to be able to handle anger, character like love, and so many things like that. If a person has learned character, you want to get married to that person. And there is no way Lege is going to find such a character from the videos he is doing with people. It's not possible. How do you learn character, or how do you find out the character of a person? By living with the person, by associating with the person. That's how you learn character. Okay? Later, I'm going to explain to you how to find a spouse. Okay? And the means, the ways with which to get a spouse. But for you to get a spouse at all, at the least, know that the foundational thing, the element, the core element that you are looking for in an individual is that person's character. Okay? So the man should have a certain character. The woman should have a certain character. What are the characteristics that a man should have? A man should have vision. A man should have a sense of duty, a sense of responsibility, a sense of duty that extends to the point where he's protective. All right? So he's not just muscular and physical, but he's able to lay down his life to protect his wife and children. So that is the character of a man. He has vision. He has a sense of responsibility. He's able to protect. He's able to provide. That is what a man should have. And so many others, but at least those things should be core. A woman should be submissive to a man. A woman should be able to learn from her husband. A woman should be patient. Because you see, the tendency that a leader has is a tendency, which is the tendency that most men have, is that they make decisions on the spur of the moment. They may eventually think things over and change their minds. But if a woman is always countering what the husband has said, that man and that woman are going to have problems. So if you want to be married to a man, you must have the fundamental character of being submissive to your husband. That's to say, you allow him to have his way. It means also that a reasonable man, a man that has a sense of responsibility, means that if he keeps making decisions that is leading the family the wrong way, and he has a sense, a characteristic, a sense of responsibility, he must be able to learn from his mistakes and probably at some point begin to learn to, work with the wife or things like that. Okay, so the woman is submissive, the woman loves her husband, the woman loves her children, the woman is patient, does not argue with the husband, okay? Or this verbal diarrhea, tendency to be insulting the man, pulling him down so that she can come up. A woman must never have such, okay? So character is the fundamental thing you want to find out in the person you want to marry, all right? And then this then leads on to the question, how do you find a spouse? How? Unfortunately, I don't have the time to read Genesis 24. But for those who know the story is about Abraham. Abraham had his child, Isaac, at the age of 100. So that by the time Isaac was about to get married, Abraham was already way advanced in age. He couldn't go out to search for a wife for his son anymore. So what he did was that he called his servant and said, go out and the Lord will lead you. You'll find somebody from my relatives, at least some people who I know, whose values I know. Okay, you'll find a wife for my son there. And the servant went with prayer and eventually he found the wife and brought. Isaac had never seen Rebecca before. He had never toast. There was nothing like toast. He had never had the opportunity to look up like the way Lege is asking people to check whether she has ED or she has onion or he didn't have all that time. He didn't have that luxury. It was what was given to him by his father that he stood with. Now listen, this is the lesson where I'm going to. Abraham, after the death of Rebecca, in fact, after the death of Sarah, or even while Sarah was alive, Abraham had another, a woman. He slept with Hagar and had Ishmael. But after Sarah had died, Abraham went on to marry a couple of other women and had children by them. Okay, so Abraham was polygamous. As called as he was by God, he was polygamous. The same thing with Jacob. Jacob had 2 wives that went on to become 4 wives. Okay. But this man, Isaac, who allowed his father to choose a wife for him, had 1 wife. What's the lesson? The lesson is this. Some of the most thriving marriages that people have today were marriages that were contracted by families. That's it. Okay. So that rather than allowing our my children are growing up now, I'm looking everywhere. Okay, so rather than allowing our children to grow up and then allow them to be toasted or to go and toast to get a wife, parents must be the one that are scouting out for spouses for their children. Benny, it means that, I'm looking at a family and I'm checking out their values. And I'm checking out, the things, so number 1, what they believe about God. Okay, what they believe about family life and so on. I'm looking out. I'm looking out. And at some point, there's nothing wrong with me going to meet with the father and say, your son has finished school now. He's doing well. My daughter is available. Okay. Or my son has grown up to an age and I approach and say, my son is doing well. He's responsible. And we see that you have a responsible daughter. How far? I do the toasting myself, and I'm not toasting the daughter or I'm toasting the parent. And then the parent do the linking up. And then we introduce the children to themselves. And it's not a matter of whether you like her or not. It's a matter of we know their values. They are Christians. We know they love the Lord Jesus Christ. We know they fear God. We know that if any problem comes up in your family, we will settle it at parent level before it even gets to your level. Okay. They link up and they are married. Okay. That's what I envision for my children. All right. So family level. Now, you may call this olden days, but this is the secret. Many of our parents that married that way, their marriages lasted. And it is those marriages that produced us. Okay? So I would prefer olden days and a good marriage than modern days and marriages that will end in divorce in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay? So that's the first thing. Parents must make the effort to find spouses for their children, especially for the girl child. You don't wait for your child to become 27, 28, or 30, and then you now start going around. It is when the child is in secondary school, you begin to look out, you begin to pray and trust God to provide a spouse, a man for your daughter. Okay? And there are other ways, other places you could get a spouse. Okay? Not at Lege Miami's program. Okay? You can, church. If you're committed in church, you're serving the Lord, you meet a spouse there, you marry her. Okay, at least there's the oversight. There may not be parental oversight, but at least there will be the oversight of the pastors who can look into both of your lives, okay, and say, okay, wow, it seems you match, okay. There are people who meet their spouses during NYSC, during association, and so on, or clubs. You know, we tell some of our young ladies, rather than sitting down in the house, you're looking for a husband, you're sitting down in the house. Get into association, go to clubs, get to meet people. And in the process of doing that, you will meet maybe a single man, or for the man, you meet a single lady and you marry. Okay? And then the third one, very important, is by recommendation. Okay? You're doing well, or whether you may not even be doing well, but you find somebody else who is about your age, and or somebody finds somebody else who is about your age, who is not married, and who also desires to be married. You link them up, okay? And then you say you recommend to themselves, and as Christians, you don't get into relationship and the first thing you go to begin to sleep with each other. That will impugn on your judgment. Okay, the first thing you want to know the person, you want to know what their values are, and so on. And you do this and you pray. And with time, it becomes clear whether you can marry the person or not. You go out, before you start courtship, you go out, you get to learn about each other, you get to learn so many things, and then you start courtship. That courtship should be under the oversight of a pastor, a minister, who would guide you, who would learn more about the things that you're doing. And hopefully, and by the grace of God, you wouldn't have to have moved from one lady to the other lady or to the other lady before you find the right person. Personally, I believe that the first person is usually the right person. That's for me. It was the same for me. The right first person, the right person. I didn't have to go from this person to this person and to that person. And then the last one is prayer. Okay, this one, of course, is for religious people, but I recommend it. Pray and wait. That's it. Pray and wait. Now, these are my thoughts about what Lege Miami is doing. Of course, Lege is not a Christian. He doesn't even profess to be a Muslim, even though by the time he links people up, he says a prayer for them and all of that. But, everybody knows he's not religious, But I personally believe that Lege is setting people up for a divorce. That is what is happening. All this linking, they're setting them up for a divorce. Okay? If you want a one-night stand, or a relationship that will last a month, a year, go to Lege's show. Find a spouse there. Okay. If not, go and look for how to find a spouse. As a younger person, let your parents lead you. Okay. If by the time you're much older and they haven't found anything, get into association, churches, clubs, and so on. And you'll find this and be open to recommendation. And then again, I think people should also try to lower their standards. There are too many faulty expectations from people. Women who are looking for men with 6 packs. He must have a car. He must be earning 500,000 or 2 million. He must be this. All of those things are stupid. That's the truth. Okay? The only thing you need in a man, first of all, is the fear of God and character. That's all. The fear of God and character. And possibly vision, and then a sense of responsibility. If all of those things are there, it doesn't matter whether he has a car, he doesn't have a car, he has a job, he doesn't have a job, those things will produce jobs that will produce cars and will give you a secure future in the days to come. Okay, and the same thing with a woman. You know, it doesn't matter what the woman is earning, whether she has a job or she doesn't have a job. What matters is, number one, a woman who fears the Lord. Number two, a woman who is submissive. Not you people are in church fellowship or you're at church meeting, and she's the one always countering everybody, always shouting at the pastor, always raise. You want to stay away from such a sister by the mercies of God. Okay, because she'll bring that attitude into your house and you're going to have problems. Okay, so you marry a woman who is quiet, okay, who is submissive and who fears the Lord. Marriage is difficult already. You do not want to start your marriage on the wrong footing. That's the truth. If in our world today, if two saints marry themselves, they will have problems. In this world, they will have problems. It is difficult already. The reason is because it doesn't matter how saintly you are. The husband has his weakness. The wife has her weakness. The two of them will clash from time to time. It will be there. Okay, so it is difficult already. You don't want to come into marriage with somebody who does not have a certain, in Yoruba we call it olokunlorun. He doesn't have certain control, okay, or he doesn't have an authority figure over the person, because at some point the wife may just refuse not to accept the authority of the husband. At such a time, you must be able to reach out to maybe a parent or a pastor, or somebody who will be able to speak to her and she will listen. Okay, if you are married to a spouse that does not have an authority figure over them, it is a problem. It is a problem. Okay, so marriage is difficult already. It is difficult because the two spouses are coming into the marriage with their sin nature, their sin. Okay, their weaknesses, their hurts, everybody has an injury in their psychic. Okay, something that has happened to them when they were children, and they are trying as much as possible unconsciously to protect that thing. Even as an adult, everybody comes into marriage with that. Everybody comes into a marriage with a baggage. Okay, and by the time you come into the marriage, okay, through prayer, through counseling, through loving one another, learning to forbear with one another, forgiving one another, all of those things will be sifting away, so that eventually in your older years, both of you will begin to enjoy your marriage. Okay, you don't want to go to Lege and find a man who has ED and then he has money and he has. What if tomorrow he loses all his job? What if tomorrow he gets sick and the ED dries up? What happens? Then you will leave him? No, you want to marry a man with vision, a man with character, a man that has a sense of responsibility. Yesterday, I put up my my article on Lege on Nairaland.com, and the first person that left the comment on that article said this. He said, Lege is hustling. That's it. He said, Lege is hustling. Just leave him alone. And that's the truth. Lege Miami is hustling. It's not likely that Lege is going to see my video. If he sees it, fine. But if the man is just trying to make a living for himself, doesn't even hide it. When people links people and tells them to pay, he doesn't hide it. Please, by all means, find another means to get your spouse. Like I said, marriage is difficult. If two angels are to marry themselves, husband and wife, they will have problems. That's the truth. Marriage is difficult in itself. Sometimes it is one spouse that is okay. The other spouse comes with his wounded psychic. They come into the marriage and you marry what's and all. You marry both the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is what marriage is. Marriage is not about beauty. The truth of the matter is that some people are beautiful, but by the time they manifest their character, they will look like demons. You don't even want to spend a day with them. Okay, so while we thank God that people are using their social media for different things and are able to make money with it, you want to be careful where you're getting your information from. Okay, so that's it. That's my thoughts on Lege Miami and the things that he's doing. Those who want to get spouses from his show will still go there. They will still get spouses. It's even likely that some people will find their true spouses on Lege Miami's show. I'm serious. It's likely, but the possibility of that happening is very, very low. Okay, so please, by all means, allow your families, if you're a younger person, allow your families to direct who you marry. Okay, if you're getting older, you're in association, get to know people, and if you're the type that is, you don't like this person, then you're becoming choosy, and it's not likely you're even going to find anybody. Eventually, you will find the wrong person. That's even another subject for another day. Okay, marriage is beautiful, but marriage is difficult. We want to get married, but at the same time, you want to marry the right person. My name is Deji Yusufu. I pastor Providence Reformed Baptist Church. We're situated at the University of Ibadan. You can reach me for more information at newdjx@gmail.com. Please like our video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.